If I were to ask you this morning what you think is the most important verse in the Bible, what would you say? What is the most important verse in the Bible? It's kind of a trick question. Not really. I mean, the most important verse, maybe it's the verse that spoke to you. You got saved out of it, or you got a healing. So, all of that is relevant. But some time ago, I saw a 5-minute video by Dennis Prager entitled "The Most Important Verse in the Bible." He's got Prager University. There are many 5-minute videos that are very well done, conservative. But in the video, he proceeded to make a case, and I think it was a pretty good case, that Genesis 1, verse 1, is the most important verse in the Bible. Okay, so I'm going to read Genesis 1, verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The reason he says it's the most important verse is that, well, if that is not the case, if God did not create the heavens and the earth, then nothing that follows matters. It's a lot of, sechel there. Now, from time to time, I share the Lord with people wherever I am. If I have opportunity, Starbucks, a great place, or wherever. And some inevitably kind of come back with, "Can you prove there's a God? Like, prove it to me. Can you prove there's a God?" And in answering that question, one man put it this way: looking for scientific evidence for the eternal realm is like taking apart an alarm clock to look for time. Can you prove there's time? Well, we can measure it, but what is it? It's intangible. Can we prove there is a God? Well, there are different kinds of proof, aren't there? Acceptable. At least two kinds. Proof like a mathematical equation. No, we cannot give that kind of proof that there is a God. You can't give a mathematical equation and prove there's God. But there is another kind of proof that is accepted in courts all over the world. We can provide proof or evidence beyond a reasonable doubt. And that's the kind of proof that is accepted in courtrooms all over the world. That kind of proof sends people to jail for life. That kind of proof can bring a death sentence. It's absolutely authoritative. Evidence along various lines that together establish a fact and provide proof beyond a reasonable doubt for an impartial jury. An impartial jury to reach a verdict. Many people, however, are not impartial. Now, I have a fascinating book at home called Theistic Evolution. It's actually a compendium of scholarly articles looking at this matter from many different points of view. And I want to read you, I was reading, there's one on Darwinism. This chapter answered questions, and he was encouraging believers to reject for these certain reasons, which I'm not going to get into, but listen to what he said. The most candid atheists have admitted that atheism comes down to a heart thing, not a head thing. We may think it's all scientific and, equations like, math. No. He's saying it's a heart thing, not a head thing. And he quotes philosopher Thomas Nagel, who is an atheist, who frankly acknowledges his fear of religion, a condition he refers to as the cosmic authority problem. His rational faculties are second to none. In other words, Thomas Nagel is a top-notch intellectual. But when it comes to God, he doesn't pretend to be dispassionate. He doesn't pretend to be impartial. He's quoting Thomas Nagel, this atheist, and this is what he said: I hope there is no God. I don't want there to be a God. I don't want the universe to be like that. And we can go on and say, because I like my sin, or I like my lifestyle, or I like my position, I like my selfishness. Now, he didn't say that, but I'm adding on to it. So accordingly, Nagel has applied his mind, his brilliant mind, to the task of making sense of his heart's desire. And he clearly sees the utility of Darwinism for this purpose. By providing a godless creation story, Darwin enabled modern secular culture to heave a great collective sigh of relief. I don't want there to be a God. It's a heart thing and not a head thing. And you know what? The same is true of God. You know, we can only go so far with our intellect, but then at a certain point, it's a heart thing, isn't it?